Hey everybody, SlayerXTR here with GamerFusion.com and Pioneer Gaming, and I'm bringing you my review for the campaign and expansion for Shadowrun Returns called Shadowrun Dragonfall. Now, Shadowrun Dragonfall and Shadowrun Returns is brought to you by the indie developers Harebrained Studios. Dragonfall is an actual developer campaign expansion. That's a whole new story and everything to the game, and they've added a little fixes here and there. I didn't see anything besides for the campaign that was new to the game. Maybe weapons. I didn't really notice anything. Maybe skills or something. But I didn't really play much into Shadowrun Returns. Maybe the first 30 to 45 minutes to get a feel of the game through the tutorials and all that stuff. So I didn't really get that far into that game. So anyways, let's get started into this crazy world of machine and magic. And that's called Shadowrun Dragonfall. The graphics. I don't have much to say about the graphics because it is an overhead RPG game. The characters look pretty detailed for the most part of what you could tell. What stands out to me is the levels. The levels look excellent. They're well done, from the turrets to the look of the blood on the walls. It just looks like they actually took time and care with the levels and the stages to give you a feel like you're really there. Like everything just looks immaculate. And for an overhead RPG game, that's what matters, because a lot of these games like this, kind of like Baldur's Gate, is from back in the day. Baldur's Gate wasn't very much. Neither was like Icewind Dale or another one that comes to mind that it's more well known as Neverwinter Nights. For the overhead, and this one's more of a tactical overhead RPG where you have your own units or your team, and then you kind of strategically put them in certain spots to fight back on your enemy. There's another game that just came out that's kind of like that, but it's not really an RPG game. I can't remember the name of it, so sue me, dickhead. Anyways, gameplay. The gameplay is mostly about the combat system and the extensive story that you have to work with. I cannot wait to see a lot of people come to me and say, "Look, Slayer, the story was awesome." Because the story was. They took time and care with the story, guys, here. This is what makes a game like this awesome. Is you've got to have a story for games like this. And it holds it down to a T. You've got side missions, you've got characters that get killed, you have characters that have their own little things about them, their own backstories, everything. They took no expense with this game, and I love it. Love every minute of it. The only thing that I have mixed feelings about, and others are going to be like, "What is wrong with you?" is the combat system. To me, it's a mixed bag, and for a couple of reasons. One of my biggest complaints with the actual aiming system, like with the percentage system and everything, is it seems like it's always kind of off. Like it never, it tells you 90%, but yet when I fire at the character, I never hit them. Sometimes I'll be at 30% with a shotgun at kind of a large distance, and I'll hit them with the shotgun. That makes no sense, guys. I mean, maybe one little shrapnel should have hit them, but in all honesty, that's just craziness. But a sniper rifle missed from its actual range, and percentage was higher. It mind boggles me. But it could just be a fluke. It could be one of those things that they need to patch that thing up and it will be good as new. So we'll look to see what Harebrained Studios does with that, and see if they'll look into it a little bit more, maybe tweak some settings and patch it out. And I think it'd be a-okay, because there's not much else with the combat system that I found wrong with it. Everything else is pretty to the T. You can throw grenades, you can have guys heal you. You heal your team. You can have them cast spells. Some can even run and hack computer terminals and have turrets attack other units. That is excellent. That is excellent. You can even get like robot drones to help you. You can even find monsters like hidden in the level during those fights, and it is so cool. It is really cool. You've really got to check that out just for that. It's amazing. Another thing I didn't really like, though, is there is no actual loot system. It kills me to say loot system like that. Loot system. There is no loot system. There is no loot system. Huh. The only loot system you have is finding items in the level. Come on, guys. This is an RPG. Why didn't it get made into an RPG? Even if you was going for more of like a D&D feel for the game, creatures drop loot. Guys, come on. Even in D&D standards, creatures drop loot. Not all the time. It depended on the GM. They could have done it like you guys did it. But I would have rather have seen item drops. At least like maybe like a whole battle's worth. Like not every guy dropped it, but maybe like the whole battle. It does like a percentage and it tells you what you get, kind of like D&D would do. It's whatever, how many guys you fought, and it kind of breaks it into a percentage. And that's two of my main picky things on this, on the gameplay. Everything else is really good, and I like it. Everywhere from walking around, you can even bring the dog with you, to buying items. Had me a little confused trying to figure that all out. But I was able to figure that out in no time. I can't talk this morning. This is a long morning. Anyways. There's not much I could say about gameplay other than those few things that kind of tick me off, but they're not so bad that I can't get over them for the fun of the game. The combat does kind of get a little tedious. One thing I did see is you actually have to reload your weapon, which takes a turn point. I don't like that. I wish you could just reload and be okay, because it shouldn't take you a turn to reload. It should be like the dude reloads and he's ready to go. But I can see where they're going with that. I can really see where they're going. And then some spells take certain turns to cast, stuff like that. So that's reasonable. I can deal with that as well. I just can't deal with that whole percentage thing for the aim. That needs to be fixed for the hit rating or the hit percentage. That needs to be changed or looked into. It really does. Another cool thing that you can do in this game is you can actually hack into things and go and fight these things called ICs and steal money. You could steal plans for plans. You can do missions in there. There's like quests. You get items that you have to bring back and you sell, stuff like that. That's really cool. So I like that. I like that part of the game. I didn't get to really mess with it much, but I did mess with it a little bit, and I got to use turrets and do some fun stuff with it. Hack computer programs, hack some software to get into certain areas. So it was pretty fun. It was really fun, actually. Alright guys, let's move on to soundtrack. Because with the gameplay, that's about all I have to say about gameplay. There's not much to the game itself. So let's go ahead and move on to sound. The soundtrack for this game is amazing. Holy crap. It couldn't sound any better, guys. And here's a clip. Yeah, now you see what I'm saying. It's beast. It is beast. It's got that old techno kind of sound to it that, like, it's just, it boggles my mind. It sounds like something you would hear out of, like, an old, oh man, what's that movie? Oh, Short Circuit. It sounds like something you'd hear off Short Circuit when you're walking and everything. The action music, when you're fighting and stuff, it gets you so pumped up. You're ready to fight. You're ready to take these enemies down, and then you wind up dying. Because this game is kind of tough. Nothing overbearing. But anyways, the sound is excellent. It plays a real big part of this game doing what it did for my review. Lifespan. There's not much you can say about Lifespan. This game is kind of like you have, some of your different missions have different consequences if you do certain things. Like if you might have an enemy, for example, want you to join their side, and they give you something if you don't kill them for your mission objective or whatever, and you don't kill them, well, there could be something else that happens you've got to deal with. I like that. Choices make something in this game, and it makes the lifespan go up, because that means you're going to try every little thing and go back and everything else until you get all of it done. So 100% means you got to keep going back and forth and doing different things and using different personalities. So it adds a lot into the lifespan in the game. The only thing it didn't have is multiplayer, which I can't really see this game being multiplayer. Maybe. But I really don't see how it would work. So other than that, there ain't much to say about lifespan, guys. You're going to be spending most of your time trying to collect if there is any achievements. I think there was. I think there's actually achievements for this game. If you collect an achievement, you'll be going back through missions and looking and getting all of the side objectives done and all of the different consequences that you could see and the different what would you call it? The different paths that you can kind of go down. You'll see a lot of that if you play it through a few times or so. So it does have some replayability. So the lifespan's not too bad. It's actually quite nice. I wouldn't say that you would get probably to beat the game. It's a pretty long game. I would say you're probably looking at about 6-7 hours, maybe longer. I haven't watched any walkthroughs besides doing my own, and it's pretty hefty of a game. Pretty hefty of a game. Innovative. Does this game bring something different to the table? Well, we have games like Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights 2. Oh man, there's quite a few of these type of games that are out there, overhead RPG, but not like this. This one's a little different. You're using tactical kind of doing tactical things like hiding behind cover. Maybe you'll throw a grenade. You'll buff your team. It seems pretty good. It's something it's been used before, but it's a little new. It's kind of like a revamp. There's not many games that are doing that anymore. I mean, there was Arclash. It was kind of like this game, but it was so much harder. And Arclash, I want to rid out of my memory forever. Though this one here has something a little interesting for it. To reload during combat in an RPG, and it takes a turn. That's new. It's innovative. I don't like it, but it's kind of interesting, to say the least. I do give it that. And the squad-based combat with the dodge and leveling up the characters, finding new weapons, or buying new weapons. You don't really find them, sadly enough, unless the characters each hide them and kind of hide out. Then I don't know, but pretty sure you've got to buy those weapons, like I've been doing. And it's just kind of there. It's one of those games that kind of makes you sad. That could have been more to it. There could have been a lot more to it. But I think it really gets everything down to a key. I really think this game is something that everybody in the RPG and D&D RPG scene will take a liking to. Just for the simple fact of that. I really do. So, anyways, guys. This is the end of our review. You're wondering what I rated this game. What did I rate Shadowrun Dragonfall? Even though I haven't completed it yet. I'm still working on the walkthrough. Don't worry about that. Well, with its great story, its awesome soundtrack, I kind of didn't like the combat. With the hit thing, it drives me nuts. So with its lackluster combat in there too, I still rate this game high, guys. I still give it a 7. I still give it a 7.0. This game has the story working for it. It's got the soundtrack, which is badass, working for it. It's got the great level design. The combat can take a seat because you're driving yourself to a story game here that really, you could have actually done without the combat. It could have done with maybe slight combat and just stuck with story. Kind of like Broken Age. Broken Age was a great game. I mean, it's not in the same genre as this game. It is kind of like a RPG game, but it relied on its story alone, and it's beautiful, detailed the graphics, and it just looked overly nice, and it was able to get a high score for me just because it was that. I love a good story, and I love great music with my story. This, I think, could have done without it. Could have done without some of the combat in certain areas. So, I'm giving this a 7.0, guys. That is awesome. Yeah, I could have gave it a 10, but with the combat going on and the no weapon, no item drops, I can't see it getting any higher than that. But it's still a great game, and it is worth your money checking out. It is, I believe, $19.99 for Shadowrun Returns and $14.99 on Steam for Dragonfall. So you guys need to really check that out. And I hope this helps you guys with my review. I hope it helps you make a decision on if you're going to buy it or not, or if you're going to wait to see if it comes out in a reduction or maybe a humble bundle. Alright guys, well this is Slayer XTR with GamerFusion.com and Parenting Gaming. Make sure to check out the rest of my channel, check out the rest of my reviews, make sure to check out everything. If you're new to the channel, subscribe if you like my videos. Make sure to like them on your way out. Alright guys, well I love you all. This has been my review for Shadowrun Dragonfall for GamerFusion.com. So make sure that we are empowering your gaming every day. Alright guys, we'll Slayer signing out.